When I grew up, I thought everything was black or white. You're either this or you're that. There is no middle. You're either rich or poor, good or bad, free or not free. You get the idea. My perception of the world was so basic. But the more I traveled, I realized anytime you say something is black or white, most likely you are wrong. It all started when my parents compared me to Japanese kids. They would say, Japan is amazing, Japanese kids are so smart, why are you not like the Japanese? We all have this idea that Japan is just perfect, that Japan belonged to the category of the good. And that idea quickly evaporated when I visited Japan. Japan is a near-perfect country. It has beautiful nature, order, wealth, and culture. It is the perfect place to live. Hello from Japan! But for many here, it's also the perfect place to die. Because in Japan, the suicide rate is one of the highest in the developed world, double that of Germany's. It's so high that there's a forest called the Suicide Forest, where many Japanese people come to end their lives. They walk into a dense forest, leaving only a string in case they change their mind. Oftentimes, they don't. In a society where the focus is on your job, wealth, and school, suicide ends up becoming the ultimate escape. Suicide exists all over the world, but to see it so prevalent in a near-perfect country like Japan makes one wonder, in pursuit of a perfect society, what is being lost on the way? That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Next up, Palestine. From the news coverage, it looks like Palestine is on the brink of collapse all the time, as if Palestine is always suffering all of it. There is some truth to that. Palestinian struggles are real, but that's not the entire picture. Us Palestinians are capable of way more than just that. This is where we are, on top of a city in the middle of Palestine, because this is the city of Rawabi, one of the only cities in the world built entirely by business, not government. This cost $1.4 billion and made possible by this guy, who is crazy enough to build a city with an underground theme park, above-ground mountain view, tech incubators, offices, good restaurants, shopping centers. It's cool! And a state-of-the-art English school with fingerprint scanners for attendance for kids. A place for a mosque, a church, a winery, and a real Roman theater, the largest in the Middle East. This is all built by Palestinians for Palestinians, and women are involved. Many people wonder what the future state of Palestine would look like. And to those I say, you're looking at it. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow! Nice, sounds good. Last but not least, Africa. So many people lump up Africa as one continent, one big piece of land, one big stereotype. And as much as I like to pretend otherwise, when I was a kid, I thought that too. Until I visited 7 countries in Africa. When I told my parents that I'm going to Africa and I'm taking my sister with me,
hello,
they said,
be careful in Africa.
Be careful in Africa. It's not their fault. Africa is oftentimes thought of as a dangerous place. But look around. This is Africa. This is Africa. This, and this is Africa. In Cape Town, South Africa, these houses go for $2 million each. This is one of the most expensive real estate on the continent. In Kigali, Rwanda, the streets are impeccably clean and safe, and women kind of run the show. In Casablanca, Morocco, the culture is like no other in the world. In Kenya, Nairobi, the technology startup scene is booming. In Morondova, Madagascar, the nature is simply breathtaking, and in Lagos, Nigeria, the country's economy is huge. As I talk to you from Africa's skyscrapers, please remember, don't be careful of Africa, be excited for its potential. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. At the end of the day, Japan is good, but not all of it. Palestine is suffering, but not all of it. And Africa is poor, but not all of it. The world is far, far more complex than anything I've ever imagined. And that is the beauty of it.